Kanpur. Professor Srinivas Singh. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, so Professor S.N. Singh obtained his MTech and PhD in Electrical Engineering from IIT Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur in 1989 and 1995. Presently, he is a professor, HEG professor in the Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Kanpur. And before joining IIT Kanpur, he worked as an associate professor, and also before that, he worked with EP State Electricity Board as assistant engineer, and also worked as assistant professor in Roorkee University and Asia Institute of Technology, Bangkok. And also he was vice chancellor of Madan Mohan Malabdya University of Technology, Gorakhpur. And Dr. Singh received several awards, including Young Engineering Award in 2000 of Indian National Academy of Engineering, Khosla Research Award of IIT Roorkee, and Young Engineering Award of CBIP New Delhi in 1996. Professor Singh is received of Humboldt Fellowship of Germany, Otto Monstedt Fellowship of Denmark. Professor Singh became first Asian to receive IEEE Educational Activity Board Meritorious Achievement Award in Continuing Education. He is also recipient of INAE Outstanding Teacher Award in 2016 and IEEE Art and Region Asia Pacific Outstanding Volunteer Award in 2016. So Dr. Singh is appointed as IEEE Distinguished Lecturer of Power and Engineering Energy Society from 2019 and Industry Application Society for 2019 to 21. He is also recipient of NPSC 2020 Academic Excellence Award and 2021 IEEE Industry Application Society Outstanding Educator and Mentor Award. So I would request Professor Singh to start your session.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, good. So good morning, my dear students, and I can see some faculty members are also joined. And just happened to listen to the previous speaker. And just I found that it's a very good topics he covered, like moral value, ethics, and many things, how it is associated. Now you can see why it is needed now. Earlier, there was no course on that, even though people were not talking, because automatically it was coming from the family, it was coming from the environment, and all these things are basically in the moving, fast moving life. These are very, very important. And then that is basically required for any person being a good human being. So both ethics, although that is the basis of moral, and this basically required in engineering profession as well. And this is a more required in this profession compared to many other professions. And that's why the talk was very, very useful. I hope you all guys got it properly and try to follow as much as possible. My talk will be certainly the brainstorming, something different I'll be talking. I'll be trying to give the glimpse that why engineering education? What is the status of engineering education? And what is the role of yours? And what is many things are happening or moving in your mind. That's what to do, because you may be at the beginning of your program. It is a since orientation program. So it is the beginning, and many questions had before joining this institute and as well as the branch, where the specific branch now it is decided. And maybe there, if branch changes there, still you will be having some dilemma that whether that I can go here and there. So all the things I'll be trying to highlight and try to have the brainstorm so that it will be very eye-opening for all of us. Now, here you see, normally any institution, any engineering college, any institution, any university, any academic institutions, they are having the 4 pillars, always I say. And these 4 pillars, you can say there are the students, there are teachers and the staff, there is alumni who has passed out, That's long sport, and also they are very active and they want to know what is happening in their institutions, and they are very keen because it is treated at their alma maters. And of course, the administration, which is running the show, making you as a perfect engineer. So various things are basically the controlling bodies there. This is just can be treated as an industry. Industry, it is that is a no doubt. This is once you are going in, it is just like a raw material we are taking you in the college. You are having certain background, you have certain qualification, you are certain the qualities. With that, this whole the system is a process. In that process, we try to refine you. We try to make you basically gem out of all what we are having so that it can have a good output, and that is once you are passing out from there. So all doing this, there is a management process. The management is there, which is looking after all these things. That's why there's certainly the output is there. No doubt, we are not just like a simple commodity. We are the human beings. And the human beings also, they are shaped. Just you can imagine why you can say, oh, why you were saying it's industry. You see a baby bounce, doesn't know anything. What happens? Our parents, they guide me, they teach me, and then they try to start with the certain, even though starting with the, even though cramming, remembering, many things happen, and finally you have come at this stage. So you have passed through your academic institutions, maybe college and even the junior high school, primary school, whatever you can say, the various stages. Now you have reached and you have entered in the graduation level. Now, why, even though some questions I'll be putting to you, why it is called bachelor? It is that you have not married, but many people have married, still they go for the bachelor. So the bachelor words, normally in the normal sense, say you are bachelor means you are unmarried. But here we say the bachelor of engineering, bachelor of technology, bachelor of whatever you can say, the bachelor of, the BSc arts, what is the bachelor we say? Just try to search in the Google and try to get why this bachelor word, from where it came. That anyway, I'm not going to discuss this. It is your assignment to just search. And once you are searching, you get many more things. So always I say to the students, don't be the shortcut. Always try to go in the deeper. If you're getting the solution in the shorter way or some shortcut, that is also not good. That is basically, it will deepen your the penetration of knowledge, deepen your moral and ethical values as well sometimes. So we have to be very careful in having our own perspective. Now, this is the mission of any college or institution, that this is a platform where they basically you can get the knowledge acquisition. You get the knowledge from your peers, from your teachers, from your staff, and of course from your friends. So you get the knowledge. So it is knowledge generations. Once you're going to the college, so it is basically the main what we do, we basically gather the knowledge. But at the same time, we also generate the knowledge. For example, if you're having group discussion, if you're doing something thinking and you're trying to implement, like if you're doing some project, you are doing certain research papers or something innovation or value addition you are doing certain new thing, that is also you are generating the knowledge for the others. And the dissemination is the process your teachers disseminate whatever they are having the knowledge. You can disseminate your knowledge in terms of presentation to somebody else or some other forums as well. So this academic institution's mission is to knowledge acquisition, generation, and the dissemination. These three processes are there, and each institute is varying the magnitude. What is the more? What is the less? So here, the knowledge acquisition is more important for your college, and the knowledge generation is the research part which is included, and the dissemination means the outreach activities. So it is a varying from the institution to institution, and I say the most of the IITs, or you can say that's a dream that you had to enter in the IITs and NIT systems, they are focusing more on these also, because no doubt the knowledge acquisition, the academics is there, but the research component and outreach component are also very high, and that's why they are very prominent as well. So this is basically each institution have all the components, only the percentage varies from individual to individual institutions, and those institutions are rising. If they are, this acquisition is one part, we have to improve the academics, we have to give the fundamental to our student, but at the same time, we have to go for here. There are a lot of limitations to the institutions as well. If they will go for other here, maybe the knowledge acquisition part will be lower because your maybe the background is not as equal to the those are entering in the IITs. So it's also limitations of the institution. I'm not saying that all the institutions are bad. They are trying to give the best what they can do for you. So don't think they are, if they are asking to come to college, come to the class, attend the class, go for examination, go for quizzes, all the things, assignment, etc. They are not cruel. They are always thinking for the benefit of you. So you take in the positive perspectives. That's, oh, they are giving the work, you have to do it. Sometimes you say, oh, this teacher is giving a lot of work, Why he is giving? He's not eating those things. It is not his increasing his health or his monetary value. It is basically, it is trying that you should get more and more knowledge in that subject or that program or that course, whatever you can say. So always I see that's with the stressed mind, the stress student, we are stressed all of the time. That's why she was telling the stress release already various activities we normally do so that your stress level can be minimized. And nowadays, a lot of distractions are there in terms of social medias. That's killing a lot of our time in that. That is also another cause for this. So the stress is one from the academic pressure that you will receive from your teachers as well as your various levels of what you are entering. And sometimes even the side teachers are there because they are also sometimes pressurized by management so that the academic institution cannot grow. Always I say, these should be always taken in such a way, a healthy environment, a better environment should be created that is called conducive environment, where the students and the teachers and the faculty members, they are coming together and they can just work as a simple, better way. But sometimes it becomes very hard because you create a lot of notorious in that. If you are disciplined, you are having the ethics and moral values properly, there's no need to have the strictness of any teacher I know. Because the teachers just treat you as a child, the own child. We also sometimes scold our son, our kids. So same way the teacher also do. But the intention of either parents or the teacher is same, that you can get maximum. This is the learning phase of an individual. And this is the life which is your changing, your turning of your life is changing. And if those are failed at this stage in the bachelor degree, I say they are basically buckled and they are facing throughout the life. Because your fundamentals, your study capability, your analyzing capability, your technical capability, all the capabilities now are in these 4 years. And that's why you should be the serious. No doubt they will say, oh, sir, always we are serious from the very beginning. We are keep on studying. Parents are saying, study. And again, you are saying, study. So where to play, what to have the fun, what to happen to the other things are social networking, etc. Everybody has a 24 hours. You should be having a mind. And these 24 hours, you should have the very good time management. If you want to play, you have to. I say you should play. But in that hour, you should play properly. If you are doing something, so once you are going to study, you should study cautiously. Sometimes you open your book and show to your parents, you are studying, but you are not studying. You are somewhere else. You are just imagining something, doing something parallelly, something going on your mind. That should not happen. So you have to manage the time management in this engineering discipline is very, very important. If those have failed in the time management, they will fail in the life. Not only engineering, everywhere, the time management is so important nowadays in the fast moving life and having a lot of, this is a competition. It is not that you have entered here, that's life is solved. It is huge. Now you have entered in the, no doubt the area is limited in this competitive age, but it's still very high. Also how this engineering graduates, how many placement, etc. is happening, and that so to start with this, some glimpse, I want to show you how this engineering colleges or institutions is started in India. You can say the first is the Samson College of Roorkee. It was in 1847. Even though there is a certain, people are saying there are some institutions, those were opened before. For the engineering, there is some dilemma, which one engineering, which was a diploma. Because this Roorkee was basically trained for the junior engineers. There was one Kalan from the Haridwar, and it goes for the irrigation purpose through the Meerut. This irrigation, this canal still is existing. And for that, Roorkee was chosen the place, and they built up that canal for the irrigation purpose. And that's why this institution was opened. And that's the Thompson was basically, he opened this college, and that was basically in 1847. So then we are having the Pune Civil Engineering. in 54, and you can say continuously it is increasing, and it is having the many, then once we become independent, then the IITs were formed because we focused on more industrialization, more industry-oriented engineers so that we can develop our indigenous product. Many big PSUs were basically created at that time. And then we had the need of basically more and more engineers to take care of those things. So the various IITs, you can say the Kharagpur in this old IITs was the oldest. Then we had this IIT Bombay, then IIT Madras, IIT Kanpur and Delhi. They come just before 60. Now you can see we are having almost 23 IITs. We are having the NITs in each and every state. Even though we are having in the some UT also we are having, like we are having in the Pondicherry also, we are having in the Delhi also, although Delhi has become a state. So, and many CFTI, centrally funded technical institutions, many technical state technical universities, those are only basically focusing on the engineering and the sciences and management programs. Many colleges are there. Those are in the both private and the, you can say, government college. So you see, when we become independent at the 1947, there was only the 14 colleges and the only 32 seats, the 3,200 seats were there. And there was 5,400, and out of this 43 polytechnics were there that was basically used for the giving the services at that time, industrialization. But in 80, it becomes 25,000 engineering seats. And now we will see how it is growing. You can see it is started growing. There was a study from AICT in the beginning. There was huge demand of engineers, and that's why many colleges were open in 2010 onwards. Even the 2000 onwards, many colleges were started opening, and now they were just mushrooming. As you can see here, you can see the total institution, they started growing at, you can say, in 1819 or so, but the number of the students were the peak in somewhere 1450. You can see the total intake was 39 lakhs. And you can say the placement was very low at that time. It was a 6 lakh out of that. And you can say after that it was increasing, and after that it's a continuously decreasing. You can say where you have reached. This year is the intake is only 29 lakhs. So you can say there is in only 8 years we have reduced the 10 lakhs approximately the seats. Number of institutions also, you can say it was increasing, but now it has started decreasing because many institutions, many branches are being closed because, again, due to the placement. You can say the placement strategy. The placement is almost same, almost here. All the institutions are trying to give a better placement to you. Again, the placement is another big issue and big dilemma. The placement at what rate, at what your salary, what is your, really it is, you are satisfied with your placement or not, all things are different. But as per AICT data, it's taken from the AICT data because normally it is provided by each and every institutions. Once they go for their renewal, approval, another process based on that this is taken, you can say it is approximately same over the years. No doubt it was increased certain years, but again, you can say it is a declining. And I don't know, this is a 21, 22, we don't have because the placement is still going on. That's why data is not available. But you find the placement is approximately 50%. Even though in terms of 50%, you can set intake here, and the placement here, it was found it is less than 50% it is. And the enrollment here, you can see it is also, it was given by that one, it is a 60% of the total intake. This is the intake. It is not a total what is the basically students are coming. It is only basically the total is different than what they are going to be taken. Also, it was also found the girl students are now increasing because many states have made mandatory. There will be 20%, 30%, that will be there. And also the awareness has increased. So that is also increasing. That is another one. And many institutions, as I said, they are closed. That is the concern of this. And it is going to be reduced in the future also. So number of institutions closed is not a very big deal because people are increasing their strengths by the evening and morning shifts. Our universities are keep on increasing their intakes because they are not governed by the AICT if the university is there. They can basically go for directly, they can increase without any reasons if they have increased. But this number of intake is certainly decreasing. That shows that we are closing many of the branches. Many of the colleges are basically still That ratio, the closing is very fast compared to that is a new branch. Because the university system, if the like computer science, there you will find the 4,000 students are there. But in the college, you cannot take, because the AICD is saying that this number only you can do. If you want to increase, then again, you have to approach to the AICD. And that basically here the another dilemma in the data distortion that is there, which is very, very carefully we have to see. Now, I'll be saying certain things that you have to think. Why you are taking the engineering education? Why you come forward for this engineering? Why not BA? Why not BCom? Why not agriculture? Why not medical? Why not? I mean, what you can, why other than engineering? One option that your parents said, go for engineering, because engineering, it is a shortcut for getting the jobs. Because once your person is become technical, he can basically get the job easily compared to doing the BA and BSc. Because the competitive exams are the government jobs are very limited. Here, technical, there's a lot of jobs are there than the private. In the others are very, very limited, are very low paid jobs are there which anyone can do. There's no BSc knowledge is required. Only you are intermediate, you can speak English, other thing. So you can go for any BPUs and other things you can do. But the technical events you are having, so a lot of private jobs are there, and that's why people are moving in this direction, and that's why engineering is there. So you have decided, you are also that you become the engineer, and sometimes crazy though, I earn a lot of money here and there. So whatever your aim was there, now you have entered in this engineering education. We had a lot of thought in your mind while choosing your intermediate, your courses, or maybe your high school. You thought what will be your direction to move. In the high school, okay, that technical knowledge always helps in your life, because you have changed your completely attitude also, I can say. Always you think with the logical thinking, logical arguing, everything becomes logical. And that's basically giving a different, your complete setup, your personality is going to be in the different way. You can go for anywhere. You can become even politicians after engineering. Many people are the politicians, I know. But that's wherever you can go, the whole, you can say, personality is changed if you are doing the engineering education, because the technical means everything basically technically we evaluate. Now, even though before entering your branch, first is you have to, normally you had in your mind once you are entering, that's which branch you want to study. Your parents keep on asking with other seniors or other friends, and even though some teachers sometimes, that what branch my son has to study. And this, we get a lot of phone calls from our own relatives, or the relatives, friends. They said, please guide us what to do. Sometimes you are very sure you want a computer science in the IIT Kanpur, or maybe in IIT Bombay or Delhi. And if you are having that rank, problem is solved. But the problem starts that you are not getting your choice of the institution, and the branch conflicts together. So the institute and the branch is now start tussling to you and your parents. Especially your rank is low, it creates a lot of tough to decide. And that is basically not easy. Sometimes we regret our decision. Oh, I should have done this. I should have done this. I think you should not worry about that. You have chosen, not any engineering branch is bad, I can tell you. Only the bad and the good, why we are saying it is only in terms of getting your livelihoods and your job. That's a probability of the getting the place in which branch is more, you basically decide. And that is basically many branches is totally private, your education, jobs are there. Many other branches where the placement is low, but the government jobs are there. So many factors are related to that. And based on that, it is decided that's which branch we are going. Sometimes we decide the institution. Oh, this institution has the more placement. Take any branch, you will get the place. Many institutions, we say, oh, I'll go for only computer science or this IT, then only I'll be placed, and it is let us to have this and research in the market. So all these things, the branch and institutions are very difficult tasks for your parents and yourself, which you have decided, and now you have entered. Which is not possible to change. Okay. So the various institutions are there. Based on that, you have decided, and normally people decide. And once you have entered, you have to take it as a challenge to your life. You take it as a challenge. Suppose you have not cracked the IITs, JEE Advanced or JEE Mains, or you have cracked the JEE Mains, but your score was not good, and you landed here. It is immaterial because you have a huge potential. You have not even the less than a single potential that you cannot do what others IITians are doing. I can tell you, I didn't get in IITs. I didn't do my BTech from IIT, but I'm teaching to the IIT students. I did my master's and PhD from IIT corporates. And we are one of the good teachers, a good researcher. Just search on the Google, you'll find my citation and my other things. Because you have to. Then it is more challenging that, oh, yeah, I didn't get that. Now it is more challenging for me to do something so that I can show my potential. Also, I can tell you, it is a matter of slightly your background or certain things which you could not crack it. So don't regret where you are standing. You are standing in the Chaiba Science Engineering College. It is basically, it is not that you can do a lot of things. You can see your alumnus. They are doing the great, and you can also do the great. Many big people, they were not from the IITs. They were not from IITs, I can say. They were from the very small colleges across the globe. You see the Infosys chairman, Narayan Murthy, he's from the Mysore, he did bachelor. So it is, you have the potential, as you know. Normally I explain on the blackboard where we are standing. What is my brain which is going to grow? My growth of the brain, there's no formula, there's no tablet for that. It depends upon genetics, it depends upon your food habit, depends on your environment, depends on many, many factors. And that basically, sometimes the person who has entered in the IT, his brain was growth much at a high speed, and yours was slightly slow. But it is not that you will not grow. And you know, once a person is growing, it is not that he will keep on growing. What happens? Just imagine you were a kid, you are at this stage. Do you think you are keep on increasing your height as well as your life? There will be day when we will be buckled, we'll become old and we'll die also. Similarly, for any trees, any animals, any things that is you know in the life, it has a certain life. It has a certain growth. So it may be in the growth period you are lower, so you have a huge margin to grow. And the person who has already grown, he has no margin, he has to go die. And that happens here in the IITs also. Many students are getting failed and backed, and normally they leave the programs. Because even though they cracked the JEE Advanced, why they are not succeeding? Due to that, they have reached that, and there is no scope for the improvement at that stage. Those are young, they are basically competing. So you are having a huge potential. That's I say it is always better. You never say that you are less potential. And sometimes you don't know your potential also. It is also true, you know, those are the belief in the mythology. Even though Hanumanji was not knowing that he will cross this sea to reach the Sri Lanka. Somebody else told, yeah, you have a potential. And that is ignition is required. You have the potential, only you have to be sincere, dedicated, and already which was taught to a moral and other values. You should be very cautious, and always I think you have to basically the boy in front of the two people if you are at that stage. One is your parents, second is your gurus, and third, which is also very important, your God. If three things you are having in your hand, if you are bowing your head in front of these three guys, always you will be successful in your life. And you will see that it will be certainly the fruits there. So you have decided the institutions, which institutions here and there, and based on that, you have now landed. Now there's no possibility of change unless until you are still trying and you will get it changed the next year. That is another issue, and that is not, I think, the best way to do. You can basically do. It is up to you. One of the big problem during these 4 years, once you have entered and you are in there in your whole programs, it is basically a lot of things you are getting the inputs. Because entering in the first year, your first motive is to get the job, not to get the knowledge. No doubt you can say the knowledge is the basis to get the job, but normally always we think about how to get the job as shortcut initially. I can tell you people sometimes get it. Without having less knowledge here and there, they manage to get the job. But the later, after 3-4 years, they are sacked from the job and they're again on the road. So that shortcut is always very, very dangerous to you. And I'm sure if you are having the knowledge properly, along with, of course, you can do whatever the required for your job, but you should focus on your knowledge, and that will be basically always better, and that will be the stable in your life, because the life is stability is always. Why people are depressed? Why people are doing suicidal even after getting the degree and during the degree? What are all these things causes? This is only that we want to become the millionaires in a night, and that's a very, very bad. There will be time you do hard work, live on your whichever religion you are believing, believe in your God. You do your hard work, get the knowledge, get properly your education and degree. Certainly, one day you will be the successful person in your life. Many example I can quote, and you also see around you, not even though to tell it here. So that during the education here, what I found that people are simply going for the job, thinking about this. There are sometimes some people say, oh, I'll go for the higher education. So they think in that way. Some people say, oh, I'll not go for job, I'll go for the business, I'll go for the startups. Nowadays, government is doing a lot of promotions, a lot of other things. They are doing in that way. Here, even though there's a two aspect in the class, there is a regular classes are there. Now it may be online, now offline it's going to be, or it is maybe blended mode, depending upon the state to state, it is started. But at the same time, even though I found the many students from first year started, they're going for coaching. The question of why you go for the coaching? You have 24 hours. So what happens? You not very concentrating on your classroom. You are focusing on the coaching rather than the classroom. And I can tell you, if you are really sincere in the classroom and you are taking your classes properly and going back and revising and opening the books. Nowadays, everything on your printer prints that you can just go to your mobile and Google, you can find those topics if suppose your teacher has not taught properly. It is possible. I say, not teachers are equal. And nobody in the world has 100% knowledge of any subject. So there is a certain likeness, and it depends upon individual to individual, but always there is a scope that you can improve. So that's you have to have the management how you are going for, because it is not that you are focusing on coaching first and the teaching last and vice versa. You can go for the coaching or tuition, whatever you can say, but the classroom teaching you can't go for bunking. It is normally we say, oh, teacher is not teaching, I'll take the notes from other students. That is the best. I always say, what question is going to come in the examination? What question is useful for the competition? Only that area only you study. I also found in the what students do, even the teacher also, they start from the certain second or third chapter. They never teach the first chapter because they start with the big problem solving rather than the concept building, even the necessity of those courses. Why this? If that will be the slowly and slowly the build up, knowledge build up, then it will be sustained for longer period. Otherwise, you will forget. Because the problem can be made any tricks. You will see there is a GATE examination, normally the graduated aptitude test in engineering. The problems are very simple, but getting success is very low. Very few people qualify with a good score. Why? Because we go for the problem and we just simply twist the problem, and it is not solvable because your mind is not running in those corners. And if you are having all the basis and going to be very serious in the class and other things, certainly you can do all these things. So once you have done your engineering education, the options are many. Just I want to say where you are, what is the difference about the growing humans, how it is going. You can see once a baby borns, it only observes the mother, then those are around us, those are basically playing with this, a baby system. So the person which is going to basically starting his career or starting as a very baby to go for here, it is a start, and then first start is the remembering, normally your education start. So we say, oh, just cram ABCD 1, 2, 3 and all the things. Then we say go for the kite, riot, mat, all the things you have started in the very beginning, remember. Then slightly once we go for the primary, slightly third and fourth, then there is some problem is given so that you can understand and solve. And that is basically one thing you are going to be in that level up to the fifth level. Then at the slightly 9th to the 12th, you are going to apply your knowledge to get the solution and other things. So the remembrance will be there, that you cannot say the remembrance is gone. You remember your formula, remember your concept, remember your theorem, all the things, and understand the problem, but you have to now apply to the problems. And now you have, this is normally known as a Bloom, this is a Bloom, sorry, not Bloom, it's a Bloom taxonomy. He get that it is basically important how a person goes. And if this way we are going to have all the things that will be easier for you. So then later stages, what you do, you basically analyze. Analytical power is improving in engineering. You have evaluation power is going to improve, and then you should become more creative. So these things are now you have reached at this phase, starting with this, and now your life is going to be more, you can say, now burdened. And so your growth of mind is also going in that fast fashion. Earlier, it was very only observation, then the remembrance, understanding, apply, all these things are there. So what happens? What are the changes in with you? You were at the home. You were at the home if you have not done the coaching outside from your home. You were at home, and from home, you are basically going to be school to college, and you have entered the Chaivasa. Here, you are basically the controller at that time. Who were controlling? Your parents. Now take the milk, take this, do this, take the bath. All this, everything was controlled by your parents till 12th standard. Now, even though you were somewhere else, still they will be controlling. I can say still they will be. But here you are the loosely controlled. Teacher will say, "Oh, come on the class." They will say, "Marks will be assigned." You are not coming. Nobody is controlling during that period. Once you are coming to the college. And also, this is your control of your parents will be also minimized slowly and slowly, because, oh, my child has become adult, is going to be adult. And that's why it is there. So you just came from the small environment where your parents, your relatives were there, or maybe your village or your maybe very neighbors were there. Now you are coming at the large environment where the large number of students, large number of societal, the variation of the people you are going to see, and then problem starts. When you are starting with a very small, narrow, your network, now you are going to a larger network. And in that larger network, the problems start. And that's why your ethical, moral, because we learn the bad things very quickly, and the good things requires a lot of effort to get it. And that those things are required. And the problem starts here in your life. A lot of expectation has also arises from your parents because you are growing. So all these things are very, very important in your life that is going to happen. So I say, what are the challenges in the academic institutions? As I said, we are having the variety of institutions, starting with the IITs. I'm talking about technical institution, to the very small engineering colleges, where the technical universities are there, many, the varieties of NITs, CFTI, triple ITs, many institutions are there. From there, you are just having the variety of problems. First, even though all people are facing, we say the students are not motivated, because you are studying maybe not by your choice, you are studying by force from your parents. And the motivation is missing because sometimes you are having from the lower environment, you are going to bigger environment, and a lot of other things are also around you, and that's motivation is missing. Even the teachers and the staffs are less motivated, because many teachers are they didn't get the proper their job of their choice, they are the teachers. So it is also from both angles, both are less motivated. And again, this liking, it depends upon institution. It is there. We have to accept the reality, but we should basically do our duty. We always concern about our right, but we never think about our duty. If you see what is your duty, the student duty is to love. The duty of the teacher to teach properly so that the student can understand. Also, it was found, especially in the private engineering college, not in the government, there is a retention is a big problem in the private institutions. It may not be, but just I'm talking in general. So that's you can find the people are keep on changing even in the middle of the semester. If they'll get even the 1,000 rupees extra in some other private college, without any thinking what will happen to the student, because another will come, his a teaching style and covering other things will be totally different. So that's retention of the faculty and staff are the poor, especially in the private colleges. The financial crisis is true for all, basically the government as well as the private institutions is there. the financial crisis in government institutions, they like with the support from the government. They say you can generate the money. And the private institution, the financial crisis only comes because they want to more profit from the institution. So what happens? The health of financial institutions' health is going to degrade. And always they go for the shortcut to manage small thing. So that is there. And the less transparent system. The transparent system in the private is almost zero. But in the government, there is a transparency, but still the participation of all the stakeholders are missing. There some institutions are having good, all the market stakeholders, your alumnus, students, faculty and staff, those are the part of in the management, they are very, very limited. And that is the challenge that should be there. That's why the new education policies are basically trying to give some of the directions in that. So the low involvement in the stakeholder in the policy making and implementation. Normally it is implemented, okay, from this semester you have to do this, that, and it is not asked what are their real problems in that. So that's a huge debate and discussions are required. And we have to upgrade the curriculum. Curriculums are very, very old. Many times the placement companies are coming up, why you are teaching this? Why you are teaching that is not required? That is I can say the both side of coin is very, very important. Normally, we don't make you basically the person fit for any particular industry. Why? Because suppose I will make you for only, let's suppose for Infosys. So I have to teach certain set of the programmings and other things, and I'll say, go. Suppose you are not selected there, or you are selected, you are fired there, then you will be useless, that you will be not useless for any other company. So here, once I say you are coming to the institution, you are just like a mold for the institution, and we try to make you an engineer, not any output, anything for a particular industry. Because having the engineering knowledge, having all the technical skills and everything, you require only matter of 2 or 3 months, 6 months, you can be fit in any company I can, respective to your branch, of course. So that we try to give you, and that's why our curriculums, no doubt, start, you can say again, you will start in the first year, again, chemistry, physics, mathematics, already we have studied there. But certain here, the edge over that. But still we found our curriculums need a very, very extensive revolution and changes. That's, we have to have certain lot of choices to the students. Start with the certain compulsory, but the many options should be given. Right now in the engineering colleges, almost the electives, we say electives, but it is not elective. It is a compulsory for you because it will be running only one elective and it is there. So you have to take. So that is basically, we say that we have curriculum shows very good thing, but sometimes in reality, it is not so. You'll find. So it is not only your college, many colleges, due to the lack of the teachers and shortage, so that we cannot offer more and more courses or choices to it. We are having a lot of options to our students, a lot of options. We say it is a basket, of course, you take any. We say you take out of 10, you take 6, whatever you want. Normally people choose. So the freedom is also required, and curriculum updating is also. And the constraints are there because this is fixed by your AKT, that is your technical university, especially your college. So you cannot, your institution cannot do all these things. There are also constraints. So it is the autonomy once you are having, then you can go for the curriculum and other things. It was also found the low interest in the co-curriculum and extracurriculum by the students and faculty because the time pressure, regard the other things. That is a liking. We always keep on pressurized to do this, and also the social media kills a lot of your time here and there. So these are the things earlier. The social media was not there. That time was used for the co-curriculum and extracurriculum activities, and that is now missing. And that is a major cause of basically a lot of your mind distress, depression, and all the things that is happening to these things. And we require very effective the grievance redressal system, which is like if you write a complaint, even though sometimes people say, oh, if I write a complaint against anyone, he will be penalized rather than others will be penalized. So always, and also this mechanism is not very foolproof. But right now, the government has made a lot of the portals are there. If you complain to UGC and AMNA, certainly this action will be taken. And many, many letters come to the management if the students are complaining. And normally it is revealed and properly, people are very cautious. So the government is putting the certain pressure to have the good grievance redressal system so that the students should not be harassed properly. So we want what is expected from the institutions we require the good academic programs, various options of course programs, which I said. We require good facilities, that is the labs, your hostels, your road, your canteens, all the things, not only technical, only lecture rooms, but we require other things as well, good facility, and it should basically give the value addition to you. What you are having, that's always adding to, so that people can go to the class rather than going to a coaching. Provide the placement with a good package with a higher, basically the tier or the lower. Normally, it was found that's the tier 1, tier 2. All the IITs are having tier 1 and then IIT tier 2. So the package also should be, they should work hard, they should show and they should train you, they groom you so that you are placed properly and then get the better job for your life. They should also have the various center of excellences, maybe having the design, they should have innovation, incubation. Many students are having good ideas. They want to do, they want to get the facility, and institutes should provide. And there are many institutes that are provide nowadays due to the lot of intervention of the AICTs and UGC. They are doing, now there's a lot of hotel programs, a lot of other competitive programs are there. And each institutions are now having all these things. But again, it is sometimes only for namesake. And here, another is the environment should be very family oriented. You feel that you are in the college, you love to go to the college rather than distracted from the college. So there's the bonding and belongingness should be there in you and both sides, not only your side from the management and academic side, also the institute side as well as the student side that should come. And that will be better, not only for this your 4-year program, but later also. Even though later also you'll realize these 4 years is a dream for your life. This is the golden period that you will find it is the 4 years. Everybody, those are, you can ask any of your seniors, you can say, what the 4 years you enjoy, you learn, and what is that was the maximum at that time. So you have to capitalize all these things in your life. They should also go for the international linkage, even though good international institution and even the national institutions, the linkage should there, so that you can see what is the difference between the IIT students and your student. If you are having all these things, that is the better one. So that link is even the international, so that they can come, you can go, so that you can know what is the their distance. So that will also motivating you to do something better compared to that. And nowadays the perception, that is the ranking is also important. We say, well, what is the NRIF ranking? What is the QS ranking? What is the ranking of your institutions? That is also there. And always we have to engage our students in the various activities when in their leisure time. If they are engaged, no doubt, I'm saying not only the technical pressure, but the engaging in the different activities. Sometimes they can, and that will be basically enhancing the growth of the mind. And that is basically the expected from the institution. And the characteristic of the good institutions, always, you should be honest and sincere. Because the honesty is missing. We always go for the sarcasm. We always go for the cheating. We say, oh, what I should do. And that is not in this stage. You have learned from your the career, which is from the very beginning. This you started. And that is basically one of the big problems here. And another is hard working. No doubt, there is a possibility in your class, one person reads one, and he knows everything, he cuts everything. But you didn't get. What option do you have? You have to read twice or thrice. So you have to accept this, because the growth, always I said, the growth of mind is not known. But I can tell you, don't be afraid that, oh, you don't understand this properly. Try to understand maybe by 1 or 2 times, 3 times. One person can get in one reading, you may require 2 or 3 readings. You do it. Otherwise, there's no way. And once you are giving up, you are giving up from your life also. So this is the time you accept it, and later you'll certainly, I'm telling you, you will get the fruits of that. So don't go for the low-hanging fruits. Always try to have the fruits which can sustain for a longer period. So already you can say have the ethical and moral values that you can say very important, which was the lectures previously you saw. That's why we are going for the various FDP programs, faculty development, both sides. The teachers as well as the students are required for all these ethical and moral values. It is not that you need, it is every human being, the citizen, that is, if you want to be civilized citizens, that is the need of the hour. Earlier, it was not there because we were learning from our parents, our family, and our neighbors. But we are getting many things distracted from that environment. And that is we are trying to mobilize and we're trying to say now you have the thinking capability, what you are doing, what is wrong and what is right, you know it very well. And that is basically there. Another it is found you should be a good listener. I found that once the class is going on, the the back benchers and other things, they don't listen what they're doing, even though sometimes they're playing with the mobile. You are not a good listener. Maybe the reason that the language is the problem. Maybe suppose they are teaching in English and you are not very confident in English. That may be one reason. Or you don't understand properly. Or you are really not interested in to understand. And I say the last is very, very important. Normally, you don't want to understand. You say, I am parling and I'll get it back. That is not the way. Because if you're going to read later, why not now? If you're going to read it, you are killing your again time. That time could have been utilized for other purpose. And that's why you should be even though for I can say, when teachers also, they should be a good listener. The good listener person is you are very good listener for the music. Why not this course? And that's basically is also important. Having good reading capability. The reading capability is also important. We read, if I'll give a novel, you read in 3-4 hours. If I'll give the same size of the book of any course, you require 1 semester and still you never read completely. So you have to increase the reading capability. That is also very, very important. And that is a missing. So try to improve. Why the reading capability there, no doubt, the novels are written with the masala so that it creates interest. Here in the technical, every time you are not understanding the first step, you are going the next, you start sleeping. People say, if you want to sleep, just take the book and read in the night, you will sleep with the book itself. So this is one way the sleeping material also for you. But once you are getting and you are creating the interest in that will be basically certainly improving. So in the beginning, your pressure is required. And if you can basically deep in the beginning of the few lectures of the course and you got it, I'm sure the whole course will be running so fast, you will not remember the boring time, etc. for that. Have always logical arguing capability. You try to interact in the class, try to argue with your colleagues. Tell you, many a times the problems are solved at the tea stall where you are taking with the friends of the tea. Just pose one problem and discuss. I'm sure the solution will come very correctly. Because everybody will give their own ideas, whatever they have learned. And that will sustain for a longer period. Whatever I learned from my tea canteen, is still I remember those things. Those are very, very valuable things, which is not in the book. And that based on the logic and other thing, we came to conclusion, and that is still true right now. So that you should have the logic ability that is needed for that. You should have the passion for doing something good to get the good grades, good marks, and better degree in your education, and always enthusiasm. Always you would be side. I always say to the student, there are 2 very important words normally I say at this stage. One is and those are starting with S. One is the silence, another is a smile. The silence, always we say, avoids many problems. So silence, many problems are avoided. And a smile solves many problems. But if both are very high level, means you are silence always. People say, oh, you are fool. And you are smiling all the time, even though sometimes teacher will come and he will say, get out from the class. And sometimes he is mad. But it's combination. And both doesn't require any energy, no cost, nothing. So why not the smiling face? You can see your beauty will be increased. You become more handsome, more beautiful. So smile and silence, that is a very, very bad. But both are not extreme. Don't go for always smiling, laughing. So that if you're having that mind, so your concentration will be better, and you can say. So that is basically the into should be required. Another, I say, your time management is very, very important because 24/7, you have a lot of things now to do. Now the requirement is increasing, expectation is increasing from my parents, from this teachers, everywhere. And also you have to compete with other friends as well. The competition level is very, very high nowadays compared to the earliest. So this time management is a very important. The person who have managed the time properly, it is not that, okay, oh, I'll not do it today, I'll do tomorrow. If you want your last date is tomorrow, you should do today, because tomorrow, let's suppose you get sick, then you become defaulter. You always then keep on losing in your life. So always you should have the management do before. It is said a person who is busy, give the work to him, he will give in the timely. A person who is lazy, he will be basically always delay the work. And it happens, you can say, just you see, the story, the turtle and the rabbit story, because the fast runner was a rabbit, but he could not succeed. And turtle, he was very slow. He was knowing its capability that he's slow. He was continuously working, and finally he reached and won the race. And that's basically, you should be knowing your capability, you should do, and so that you should not sleep. Otherwise, you will be sleeping for whole your life. The time management is there, and of course, you should be healthy. Means you're always a smiling face, sporty, and always helping, and your humanity should be there in your thinking, your behavior, your culture, your everything. The humanity, the always say manata, humanity is very, very important of any individual. So it is not only I'm saying for this, it is maybe for many human beings also required. So you should be healthy. Otherwise, again, if you're sick, everything is gone. So you should have all these things. So try to play, try to have your complete routine. Your work also should not be disturbed, and do all these things. So the time is over, and here, and I'll say now, if I have any questions, so I can interact. Otherwise, I will stop here.
Yeah, this was really a beautiful and inspiring talk for all of us. If student, if you have any question, then you can ask now. Or if you have any opinion, you can share with us.
I know they will not ask questions, although there is no technical part here, but only I try to give the lesson for the life, and that is basically the important. And if really they will get something in their life, they will be the successful. They will remember something later. Once what I told here at this beginning, at the end of their program, they will certainly remember me if they are success in their life. Okay?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, how can we like manage time every time? Like I always make a routine and something like suddenly came and it is like always like failure. Like I was never able to capable follow my routine or something like always, because always like we don't know now what is going to happen next. So nothing is going in a managing way. At least I try to manage.
Yeah. You see, there is a two type of management. One is a very hard management. One is the loose management. Hard management, what you are doing, you are not following. And it's very difficult to follow. Nobody. I'll say every time let's suppose I go for walking at 7 o'clock. Suppose there is a rain. Suppose my body is aching. Oh, I'll not go today. I'll go slightly late. But I'm saying, if you are saying your routine work, what you are going to do, if you are doing in that day, the work which you have planned, not exact time, but in that 24 into 7. So in the 24 hours, you have to manage those things. And if you're doing, let's suppose there is maybe a spillover, but it should not continuously spill over for the many, many days. So that is you have to do. No doubt a lot of constraints are there. Suppose you want to do and study one chapter and some guest has come to your house and your house is a very small house. You cannot study. But it is not the guests are coming all the time. So you can shift to some of your priority. Means just you put your leisure time for even though taking rest, that time you can do your fun and other things. So you can just change here. So it is a rigid timetable if you are making. Normally people put certain there on the table that I'll do this, they never do. And it's not possible also. You have to manage in the 24 hours, not a particular time. You have shifted, okay, no issue. So you have to reshuffle your task, and that will be the better thing.
And yes, sir, and also we have also a habit of making excuses. Like
that's I said now you can add today, not tomorrow.
yes,
So
sir.
you can tomorrow pick or tomorrow. That will not work. So if you are don't excuse, try to finish today, but there are constraints you cannot do, then certainly tomorrow morning you have to do. You have to note it down the work that I have to do. One is the timetable. Okay, leave it. But what are the things you have to do? You have to do it today, you have cut it, tomorrow I have to do based on those priority and finish it. So the excuses are always there. Oh, today this, that. But the spillover, if you keep on doing the spillover for longer time, that is going to be burden, and that is basically you are failed in your life.
Yes, sir.
Disha Kumari has some question.
Yeah, please.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So my question is that you have mentioned that lack of motivation. Sir, but nowadays we see that every student find motivation from outside. Like they see a lot of videos to motivate ourselves, and like it that motivation don't last for longer time. just it lasts for 1 to 3 days, and then we back normal to our normal days. Like we waste our time, we don't study much. So how to get motivated? Because according to me, motivation comes from inner, but it gets very difficult to like be motivated every time. And so how to deal with it?
No, motivation basically, no doubt every day somebody is saying, okay, do it. And you are also very energetic, okay, I'll do it. But after that, you are missed and you are saying, okay, leave it. But you have
Yes,
to
sir.
see your goal. Always you should remember your goal. What is your goal? Once you are studying, right, what is your goal? Just keep on looking at that. Because suppose you are having the goal, once you are knowing, the motivation slowly, it will be always there. Oh, I have to reach this. So this goal, once it is not there, certainly the motivation by reading and by doing this, it will be not working. Goal is to score this good marks in this. Goal to get the good percentage marks and go to get good knowledge in this. So that if you are having this in your mind, it will be keep on reminding you, oh, you motivated this. And it means you had this motivation, but you are lacking, so you have to do. So that is basically there. And for that, even though people say, if you start your concentration, the other thing, people say, go for yoga, go for all this. Various people are giving the various advices. I'm not going that. But if you are having your focus, you have to see what you are going to achieve. And that is important.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the last one from Prince Kumar. Prince has some question. Yeah.
So my question is about that I actually whenever I start to study or do something for work, I am not able to keep my mind stable or conscious. Always my mind start thinking about another thing and here and there. And basically, and I and another thing is I don't actually have patience to wait for result, what the outcomes will come of my work. So how I can do that?
Yes, that is very true, because always suppose you want to open your book, but your mind is somewhere else. It is just looking at this, you are studying, but you are not. So what you can do for that distraction, you have to do certain mechanisms that normally what I've seen, many people turn on the radios or something, some songs, and something is going, and then basically they study. That is also some task why people are for distraction. What happens? You are suppose you are studying something and you turn on your something music, whatever you like, something. So some you are just distracting from here, you are going to there, then finally again you are coming back to your knowledge. So you have to have certain mechanism of that one. If this distraction which is there, it is always there. For how to get it removed, people then say go for certain things like yoga or something to concentration or mind. All the things are basically you have to do something. Sometimes maybe some, even though there is a problem in the brain also, it happens. But the concentration here, you have already, your motivation should be there. At the same time, you should have some secondary task, which is that if you are distracting, you should divert somewhere else. I can tell you when I become more distressed due to the family problems, because we are having old parents and other thing, then my output increases. But I'll come office and I'll start doing something, which is my interest. I forget the whole word. I forget whole word and I start doing, oh, I have to complete this. So the task is there, I have to complete it, everything will be lost. So if you are distracted at that time, don't do that. You do something where you are having more interest in that. And then you will be forget around this. So you have to change the topic is also another way to basically make the concentration. For example, you are studying mathematics is not getting clear. Certainly your mind will be distracted. Then change something which is more interest to you. At that time you do. So it is basically changing. Always you say change the subject, certainly will be better for you. Sometimes you are reading, even though concentration is for a limited period, do it for then you roam around or do something else, work at that time, and then again sit and then do. So that this basically, it is an individual to individual. There is no shortcut, there is no one formula for everybody.
And sir, I am not able, means one more thing that if I do some work or anything, I don't have patience to wait what the outcome will come. Started thinking earlier the outcome will could be this or outcome will be this. So how I can be
Yeah,
patient for
yeah. You
anything?
see, the outcome is not in your hand. First thing, you try your hard, you write your examination, your result is not up to your. Everybody wants 100%. Does anyone gets 100%? Or maybe few are getting, but it's not, even though the question will be tough, you will be not getting. So only you think what you are doing, that is only then output is immaterial. Many a times you are knowing much, but your output, your performance seen by your marks is less. So always don't worry about the marks. because marks no doubt is required. And you are having knowledge. I'm saying you are not getting the poor marks. You are getting some average marks or something that is satisfactory marks you are getting, but may not be at the 100% marks or higher marks you are getting. But if you are having the knowledge, you are having that word patience and other things, certainly it will give the fruits at a longer range. Longer range, you will be successful. You say many a times the topper, they don't get even the gate score. They don't get even the PSU examination, even though second, third, and fourth rankers, they are getting the better. Why? It is due to that at that time they were not very much concentrated for the marks. They were trying to study to go more deeper. Some person may be cramming and he's just delivering and getting more marks. So it is output is not in your hand. You have to do your effort. That's all, and leave everything to God. That's He will take care. But honestly, you have to do. It is not that you are doing nothing, but Prabhu, He will take care. No.
Okay,
don't
I think
believe in God.
we are running a little late. So, okay, Mohammed Mohsin has some questions. So that would be the last one. Mohammed Mohsin.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, every student, either IIT, NIT, and any state level engineering college, they focus and they are motivated our study. But if their engineering is completed, they always want to for foreign package and focus to in mainly foreign, not to India. Why, sir?
No, you see, anyone who is working, they are not working for fun. Everyone is working for, first up is the money, that is economy. Second is the job satisfaction. And third is the social recognition. These are various factors for any individual to decide any job. Suppose you have n number of options. You are having n number of options. In that, one is the salary. Salary means economy, how much you are getting. Second is what is your social recognitions. And what is your job satisfaction? You are whether you are satisfied or not. Suppose I'll give a huge salary to clean or sweeping or mopping a toilet. We Indians will not do it. But if you go outside, the job is job for them. And salary is not very much varying here. The salary is varied from very small value to very high value. And moreover, nowadays, we are running behind the government job. We say salary is my own money, and whatever I get over and above, that is my income, and that is my effort. So all this distorted because this is a society is pulling us that we have to go for more and more money oriented. We kill our life. We never enjoy with that money. We never go in the outside. They really enjoy with the money. They never save. We save the money for our kids. You will also do the same thing for your kids. And always people say, why to save? Although I also do this. If your kids are better, they don't need money of the parents. If they are bad and they are not doing something garbage, so whatever the money parents have collected, it is basically a matter of only 1 year or so to destroy completely. But still, our mindset is such a way that we cannot. We say, oh, your parents are. You will say, oh, my son is having this in this company. Oh, he's in the MNC. He is having the US and he's gone as a crores package and this and that. That is social recognition. The society demands all this. Many, many things are there. So it is completely distracted. So everyone wants the salary. And of course, in these three parameters, which I say, your job satisfaction, where you are satisfied or not. Second, your social recognition, why there are all these things. So value, what is your value in the society? Why people are going for IAS? Salary is less than a professor, a teacher. But we go because we say it is a social recognition. And also over and over money is there. So the many, many factors are there. That's why people are going and trying hard to get this value and that value, this job and that job. Okay?
Okay, so with that,
we should
I would like
stop.
to thank Dr. Singh sir. That was a really wonderful and motivating talk. So we may have some more questions. I think we can personally email him and he won't mind on that. He can answer to that also. So yes, sir, thank you for your valuable and inspiring talk. And
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Okay, so with that, we will end our session here. And yeah, thank you, sir, and thank you, students. We are ending our session here.
Thank you, everybody. Wish you all the best in your career. Thank you.
Sir, what is sir's email ID?
Okay, I'll provide you.
Just you see, search SN Singh in the Google. I may be the first name. and my everything you can get it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.